as I came to Canada, have several experiences. First, when I came here, ultimately leading to a research laboratory in the medical school at the University of Calgary, at the time with Dr. Grant Gall. And he really showed me what the world of research was like. And I think that has made a huge difference in my career orientation and eventually led me to where I am today. I developed the taste for it, the interests, the fire, and at the same time still have the ability to contribute to teaching by using some of that research, research approach that I use in the laboratory. Introduce novel findings that are not yet in textbooks, incorporate new data that is exciting and not yet available in textbook. Students at the university level, I think, are entitled to, actually should receive that type of teaching. What comments come out, and something that I think is important, is to have enthusiasm. You have to have the fire. Enjoy what you're doing. Show students that what you actually teach them is something that they themselves could enjoy doing a career out of, and so forth. And having that enthusiasm, I think, is easier to then convey the message. So enthusiasm, organization, I think, is important as well. Clarity in your message. These are all very important elements, but what I would put first and foremost is probably fire.
Excellent.
So first, there is a personality element, and I am a communicator. I like speaking with people and interacting, so that helps at the onset. So there's a personality element in there. Beyond that, obviously the wording is important. Whether or not the words that I use are felt as being simple is simply because I have limitations in my English vocabulary, remains to be seen. But the fact is that at the end of the day, I always tell my students and others when they give a presentation where the message needs to get across, think that you're telling that story to your grandmother and she should understand you. And at the end of the day, that's pretty much how it works. So if it's a concept that you need to kind of get across in a classroom or during a meeting or conference at which you have to present your research data, the elements remain the same, unless of course you speak to cutting-edge scientists in the field where the vocabulary might be a bit more pointy. But at the end of the day, if you put yourself again at the receiving end, what you hear, the message you get, has to be understood by someone who is not at all in the career, in the profession. Usually it does the job. But again, bring in some humor, a lot of fire, and go out there and enjoy it. Show that you enjoy your profession. I guess the strategy is put yourself on the side of the receiving end. In other words, even though you have delivered that message a number of times, say if it's the same lecture program, even if you change that, which you do, you may feel, well, it's a bit repetitive, and I've done that before. But if you put yourself at the receiving end of that message, then you have to appreciate that these students hear it for the first time. And for them it's the first. So therefore, you can excite them just as much as you excited the first ones you taught that same program to.
Excellent.
To me, what's important is when someone can say at one point that there is at least one person in the world that they changed the life of for the better. So if somebody comes back and one day says, Andre really changed what I got out of life, what I made in life, it really changed something positively, that's enough.